have a couple stories here. One that's kind of bittersweet, but it had to happen eventually. And of course, I'm talking about Charles Martinet stepping down as the voice of Mario. Are you familiar with that story?
Wow. He's
It's
wah, ah, ah, ah. Hire
yeah.
me.
So
I'm
he's
next. But I mean,
yeah.
kudos
He
to him
is
because he's been doing it for a
mhm.
while, and since I believe Nintendo 64 days, and just like
Yeah. He's been doing it since
man, he's been
1991.
yeah, so he's kind of like a part of my childhood.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now I guess he's stepping into the Mario ambassador role,
Hmm.
um, which is
Deservedly so. I mean,
yeah, so
yeah.
he's still gonna be involved in one way or another with Nintendo and Mario. I guess I'm not sure what Mario ambassador means. I don't know if that means that he's gonna go to conventions as Mario or something. They're not really um specific
Or
here. But like
part
here,
of his
this
like
is the
retirement package is part of his like pension. You're just an ambassador.
Yeah, so this is the tweet from Nintendo earlier today at 7 a.m. this morning. So Charles Martinet has been the original voice of Mario in Nintendo games for a long time, as far back as Super Mario 64. Charles is now moving into the brand new role of Mario Ambassador. With this transition, he will be stepping back from recording character voices for our games, but he'll continue to travel the world, sharing the joy of Mario and interacting with you all. So, yeah, I guess I kind of nailed it when I said, conventions and stuff like that. I'm sure it's different in conventions, but something along the lines like that.
Yeah.
Um, it has been an honor working with Charles to help bring Mario to life for so many years, and he wants to thank and celebrate. No, and we want to thank and celebrate him. Please keep an eye out for a special video message from Shigeru Miyamoto and Charles himself, which we will post in a future date. So they haven't posted that yet. We'll talk about it when they do. Uh, yeah, this is very bittersweet because obviously the sweet part is the fact that he's still going to be in the Nintendo realm, Nintendo world in one way or another. Um,
Hmm.
but bitter, yeah, because we grew up with him with his wahoos, with his hiya, with the it's a me's, all that stuff. Clearly, I'm not suited for Mario, but yeah, later in the day they confirmed that he's not going to be voicing the upcoming Mario, Super Mario Wonder, that's coming out later this year. Um, so I think they just getting ahead of it of like before news breaks that he didn't voice that Mario because the internet went nuts when they found out that Chris Pratt was voicing Mario and not Charles Martinet, which I
Mm.
think is a whole different conversation. It's a whole different field. Wouldn't make sense for him to voice Mario in a movie. I never thought so. He was in the movie itself. I believe he played Mario's dad. Is what I was reading. I don't remember that entirely.
I don't remember his voice. I know his like whoa 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 whoa
Yeah, no,
whoa.
because
Whoa.
in the movie there was the plumber guy, and he just did the wahoo. So this whole time I thought that was who Charles Martinet played, but
Mm,
then I was reading stuff, and I guess he played Mario's dad, which
I
is
don't remember him as Mario. I can't say I remember that portion of the
I
movie.
mean they were in oh yeah, so he did play both of them. He played Mario's dad and that guy in the Italian restaurant, but it was that
Hmm.
dinner scene, and then where uh I guess before like the whole like character thing happened. I don't know.
Hmm.
But anyway, yeah, so they're saying that him playing the role of the dad in that movie was in a way like passing the torch for the next Mario. And
Hmm.
yeah, and now I'm just wondering what direction they're going to take for Mario itself, like whether they're going to keep the same like wahoo all that stuff or if they're going to go in a semi different direction or stuff like that.
I mean, this is not to discredit his work. He's been doing a fantastic job. Like I said, he's been a big part of my childhood.
I mean, he's had the
Because
job since 1991. That's like almost
exactly
as
that's
old as
when
I am. So
yeah. So it's yeah, he's been. I mean, he's hit the last leg of his career where now you want to kind of step down and give it to a new person. Even like with Bugs Bunny, I think it's like it's different
I
from
mean,
the
it's inevitable,
yeah. So but with Bugs Bunny,
unfortunately.
it's like he actually talks. Mario was in the games, he doesn't having that
Yeah.
much dialogue to go with. It's so I mean, yeah, I mean they could probably keep the same thing, just voiced by a different person.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's
Mhm.
probably what they're gonna do. I don't see them giving Mario like, "Hey, yo, Luigi,
Yeah,
let's do this thing." You know, I
yeah,
don't see them
like
doing that in the games.
like Luigi, that's Riz, like more Gen Z ish feel.
It's in the mushroom.
Hmm.
Hey, Princess Peach, why you fucking Bowser again? You know,
Hmm.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
Terrible, terrible. But yeah, we'll see the news, future news that comes out of this. Um and yeah, thanks to Charles Martinet for making our childhood, and yeah, see where it goes from there. Again, bittersweet but inevitable, unfortunately.
yeah.
Keeping the news in the video game realm. Yeah, so I'm not sure if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Overwatch being review bombed, and like on Steam, and Overwatch 2 dropped on Steam,
Mhm,
and that led to players in China being able to play the game for the first time since January,
mhm,
when it was like it stopped being supported there. And so that led to gamers just review bombing for like real reasons, like um, single player campaign being just completely dropped, and that being the main reason for it calling Overwatch 2 and stuff. And so yeah, the director for Overwatch 2 actually he followed up with that. He responds to the negative review. He responds, but yeah, I'll get your thoughts on what you think of this response. Let's just go ahead and read the like quote real quick. This is from IGN that I have pulled up here. Let's see. Yeah, so he's talking to his team. We also launched on Steam last week, and although being review bombed isn't a fun experience, it's been great to see lots of new players jump into Overwatch 2 for the first time. Keller wrote, "Our goal with Overwatch 2 has been to make the game more accessible than ever, for more people than ever before." Many of the reviews on Steam mention the cancellation of the much larger component of PvE that was announced in 2019 as one of their primary reasons for dissatisfaction with the game. Keller said, I get that. That announcement was about an ambitious project that we ultimately couldn't deliver. If we can't
mhm.
turn back the clock, then what can we do? We can keep adding to and improving Overwatch 2. That is how we move forward. This means more maps, heroes, game modes, missions, stories, events, cool cosmetics, and features, and ever expanding, evolving, and improving the game. This is the future of Overwatch, one where we will continually create and innovate on what is making the great game now for the players who are playing now. End quote. So, what do you think of his response?
I mean, it was really. I mean, shout out to ChatGPT for writing that nice response. I'm just kidding, but I mean, it's. I mean, yeah, he addressed it. Um, that's what the. I'm guessing he's the CEO.
No, no, he's a director of the game.
Oh well, yeah, director of the game. Yeah, as person on one of the higher ups, who's you're liable
Mhm.
because you're the person that gets gonna they're gonna come to you for questions. Yeah, so yeah, I mean it's a good response, and what he said is, to be honest, I mean that's the
I
only
mean,
thing you can do if
what
you
more
make a
can you
mistake.
say? Yeah,
Yeah, like we'll try to create a better game. We'll try to improve on things, and let's move forward. And yeah, that's a good. I
yeah.
thought it was a
So,
pretty good
yeah,
response.
because unfortunately, the single player campaign that they promised they couldn't deliver. They said that they canceled it. It's not like they're gonna come up with the money or the resources to go, oh, okay, actually, because of this review bomb, we can actually do it now. Like, that's not how it
Hmm.
works, unfortunately.
Hmm.
I do wish, however, that it gave players more options, or they gave the players something, because
Yeah.
this is essentially what they're doing already. He's just like explaining what they're doing, which is great, but it being a free to play game now, this is how they get all their money now, as opposed to before with Overwatch 1. You um you paid for the game, you paid for like
Hmm.
everything, you could earn most of the cosmetics or and all that stuff via loot
Hmm.
boxes from the game and stuff, or you could buy them. You had the option to buy them as well. But
Hmm.
now it's just like money hungry tactics, and
So
essentially
you think
this response
it's
doesn't
more
really.
so so
Hmm?
you're more so complaining about the microtransactions in the game as opposed to
Yeah, because that's essentially
the
because they didn't deliver in the single player campaign, which
mm,
it happens, it sucks, but it happens. But that was the
yeah.
main reason why they switched from Overwatch 1 to call it Overwatch
Mhm.
2, because what they're doing
Yeah.
now, they were doing with Overwatch 1. They
Yeah.
were always adding characters for free
Mhm.
to the game. They were adding
Mhm.
maps. They were adding levels and campaigns and like seasons and stuff like that. And that was always included in the game. So really, when they announced Overwatch 2, everyone's like, "Why?" It's like
Mhm.
um, it's not like you stop supporting Overwatch 1 and we need a sequel.
Mhm.
Like, no, we don't need a sequel. We need more updates and stuff like that for this game. But then it went 2, and then they're like, oh, well, the reason we're doing this is because we have this meaty single player campaign and blah 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 blah. And it warrants us calling this Overwatch 2 because it's that much bigger. And then it drops and it's more of the same, and they're like, okay, well, that single player's campaign's coming, and then they cancel it. So it's like, oh, so the only difference now is that it's free to play, and it's way more expensive to play this game, ironically,
Yeah.
to
I
like
mean, like I said in
competition.
the previous thing, I think we already talked to I just don't know the
Yeah, yeah,
economics of running a game like that and continuously running it, might I add. It just so I don't know if that's just them trying to make up for those costs or them trying to squeeze every dollar out of you. But like I said, it seemed like a very PR,
yeah,
like
for
he had a
sure.
PR team that like kind of like, or it's like, oh, okay, like let's how are we gonna respond to this type of answer? But
Yeah,
it's hard. This is I mean, man, being a
yeah. I
director
mean,
is
like
not an
I
easy
agree.
job.
Yeah, I agree. Like, what more can you say? It's just me being
Yeah.
like, come on, do something for the players, because this does
Mhm.
nothing to, in my opinion, it doesn't do anything to like sway those negative reviews. Because
Mhm.
it doesn't really do anything. Just
Mhm.
a cut and paste response. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it since we spoke about the review bombing, and I just wanted to talk about the update from the director.